Good morning. Guten Morgen. It is great to be on with you this morning. I'm trusting that you can hear me okay and all is working well. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to you and to yours. How are you? Where are you tuning in from? Let me know. Say hello. Don't leave me all alone here. Let me share this over here and we will be good to go, as the fella says. Happy Friday. I need to go in here and I need to share it across the way and then we'll be off to the races. We're going to talk about how do you process it. Like people say, hey, you don't need to, stay stuck in your past, right? You really need to be dealing with your present, facing it, and moving into your future. Wonderful. You just need to process your past. Well, how do you do that? So we're going to talk about one tool right now that can be really helpful to help you process your past, and we're going to dive into that in just a second. Let me figure out how to share this and then we'll be off to the races. Or not figure out how to share, but let me share this and we'll be off to the races. Yeah, there we are. Okay. Share. And sharing it to my profile. So what we've been doing is we've been on different like 7 to 10 different places, and what's happened is we're kind of scattered. We're all over the camp, and so what I'm trying to do is basically I'm trying to share it. It's only letting me share to a page. Isn't that a pain? Anyway, okay, I guess you live and you learn. And Connie, great to see you. Melissa, happy Friday. Sonia, welcome. Happy Friday to you. And I'll see, I know there's more watching, so I will find you somehow here where this lets me post it. Okay, so happy Friday. If I said to you, hey, how can we process what's going on right now? What's going on all around us, okay? Like people are just trying to grin and bear it and kind of get through it. Some people are numbing. Some people call it buffering. We're numbing. We're numbing our fears. We're numbing our anxieties. We're getting lost in distraction, whatever that has a name. Netflix. Some people are, working out excessively. Actually, really, I haven't met them. They're out there. Some are eating excessively. Some are drinking excessively. Some are self-medicating to excess at times. And so how do we not get stuck in one of those different paths? So glad you asked. We're going to talk about how do you process it. So I have a few questions for you, and I'm going to jump in and basically I'm going to try to share this one more time. There's more folks joining us as we speak, so welcome. Please do say hello. Happy Friday to you and to yours, and let us know where you are watching from. So how to process is what we're talking about today. Let me share my page with you. Good morning, Wes. How to process. How do you process everything that is going on? All right. Thanks so much for your patience, gang. We're ready to jump in right now. So the first question I have for you, you ready? Ready for the first question? First question is, dun, 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 if the last year of your life, not even the last year, if this first 5 months, 4 months, we're heading into 4.5 months of your life was a movie. Hey Janie, welcome. If the first 4.5 months of this year was a movie, what type of movie would it be? Let me know. Let me know in the chat area. What type of movie would it be if your life was a movie? Question number one, how to process, right, is what we're talking about, okay? Sometimes we've got to name what's going on, right? We've got to describe it, right? So when you name it, when you put a description on it, it can give you clarity, more clarity. It can help you process. It can help you reflect. Like some of you would say, well, it's a drama. I mean, it's been like a nightmare for me. It's a horror movie for me. You may feel like it's a silent movie for me. I feel like I've been taken back and cut off. I don't know, right? An intense thriller, right? I didn't know what was going to happen next. What was the next report or whatever, right? You're the movie producer. God's the owner of the company. But what genre would this movie be if these past first 4 weeks, 4 months, and 2 weeks of your life were a movie? Considering it's today, right? What type of movie would it be? Go ahead and type it in the chat area. There's no wrong answers here, right? This is really just about movie genre. What movie genre would you say it is? And I can share my screen, I think, with you. Yes, I can. So give me 2 seconds of a lamb's tail. Boom. There you go. All right. How to process movie genre. What movie genre? I'm seeing dramas. I'm seeing mostly dramas coming in. Okay. It's good to name what's going on. It is good to name an emotion that you are feeling. When you can't clarify it, it's hard to clear it, right? When it's difficult for you to call it by name, it's hard to clear it out of the way. And part of processing is naming what's going on. I walked a young guy through a massive clearing exercise yesterday in his life, and it was just difficult. It took him a while to actually just speak what had happened and how that had made him feel, and what it had caused him to believe, right, about himself, because we know that belief drives behavior, right? Somebody write that in there. Belief drives behavior. And if you hear a nugget today, will you just put a hashtag nugget or just write nugget in the comments area, right? Or tell me what your nugget is, even better. Tell everybody else what your nugget is. And at the end, lunchtime today, I will pick somebody who has, I'll put names in a kind of random spool, and I will give you a prize that will be well worth your investment, let me tell you, if you just add the word nugget or write your nugget that you might have caught in the chat area. Okay, so second thought is movie genre is number one. Okay, movie thought is number one. What type of genre would it be? Has it been for you? It doesn't matter about anybody else's genre, right? You're not living their movie. You're living your movie, right? And by the way, sidebar, Your Honor, be careful not to judge yourself by other people's highlight reel. Be careful not to judge yourself by other people's highlight reel. A lot of times we're still processing our negatives, and we're looking at our negatives, right? in the dark room, okay, and we're comparing those to everybody else's highlight reel where they're finished, it's processed, it's glossy. And I'm not only talking about social media, I'm talking about whatever's going on in life, right? Be careful not to judge your negatives that are still being processed, right? You remember those films that you used to have to put them in the dark room and process them? That's a nugget. That was a nugget for me. But anyway, okay. If you find a nugget, pop it in and let me know. All right, movie genre. Number 2, all right? What are 2 or 3 major themes, recurring themes that keep popping up? How can we process? We can process by just reflecting and looking back and saying, okay, what keeps popping up for me? Is there a theme that keeps popping up for me that I need to take action on, that is not going away until I take action on? I keep running away from it, but it's like whack-a-mole that keep popping up and I have to keep whacking it back down. What is... I love that illustration for something else, that when lies pop up, you whack it with the mallet of truth and make that mole go somewhere else, right? And there is an end to it, I promise you. There is an end, right? But a lot of people see the moles pop up and they don't do jack with them, right? My father-in-law has a garden, not a vegetable garden, but like a grass garden, lawnway, and he has moles that have dug, pathways all in and out around this, like circles, around, and that's what his what his front lawn looks like. He is not a happy camper, right? Let me how to get that off there. Okay, so what we're talking about is question number 2 is what are 2 or 3 major themes that keep popping up, that keep reoccurring in this last while, right? That's what I want to ask you about. What are 2 or 3 themes that keep coming up again and again and again? And again, if you don't have a pen or a piece of paper, you need to get you one, okay? Because we're talking about how do I process, right? How do I get on the other side of this better than where I am right now or how I've been in it, right? You only can get there by not allowing it affect you however it wants, but you take a grip of the horns of life and you live it. You don't let it live you. How do I do that daily? Well, you do that by checking in with Kevin. No, you don't. You don't have to check in with Kevin. You do that by processing. You do that, frankly, by thinking, okay, so how can I describe this season that I've been in, right? How can I describe this season that I've been in? What if it was a movie, what type of movie would it be? Or like somebody wrote a roller coaster. Yeah, there's been a roller coaster. I don't know if there's been a boatload of highs, but maybe there has been for you. And if there has, good for you. Mom with music, good morning. Happy Friday to you. All right. So what else are we thinking about? Processing. Movie genre, number 1, you want to come up with. Number 2, what are 2 or 3 major themes? And again, some of this is really personal, but some of it's more shareable. I want you to share it, right? What keeps popping back up again and again and again for you is the question, all right? Number 3, you ready for question number 3? Question number 3, well, let me just give you an example actually about number 2, all right? The urgent crowds out the important. That might be a theme for you. The urgent crowds out the important, right? The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? The urgent has a tendency to crowd out the important. That might be a theme for you. Themes inform our future by learning from them in the past as we process it, as we reflect, right? So the question for you, you're asking yourself in processing where you are, what's going on, and not having like excess baggage that you're dragging through with you. We want to get rid of the excess baggage so you can live freer, right? Live in the fullness that your maker and creator has come to give to you, right? Themes we're looking for. All right. Number 3. Is there anything that you have accomplished? Let me pop this on the screen. Is there anything that you've accomplished in this past 4.5 months that you are like, go on, you good thing. Look what we did, right? Anything that you've accomplished in this past 4.5 months that you're proud of. And the reason why I'm asking you this, gang, is because we don't take time to celebrate. Like, celebration is a spiritual discipline. And a lot of us don't take time to celebrate. So, go on, you good thing, right? It's a phrase that I grew up with, right? When somebody's like cheering somebody else on. We don't take time to celebrate. And it's not being proud to, good morning to you, Jacob, welcome, man. It's not being proud to affirm or even acknowledge, like, I'm really thrilled that we've managed to pull this off. Like, my last born child is in his last day of high school today. Now, technically, we all know he's not in it, but he got a few things to just, finish off. Because they're not letting him away with Jack, which is wonderful. But anyway, this is his last day. This is a really good thing. We made it. What have you accomplished in the last 4 months and change that you're proud of, that you're grateful for? Think about that. Process that. I haven't lost me marbles going through this season. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I'm so proud of you. Most of the time, we're just trying to get through. We're trying to just survive, right? And what we're wanting to do is not just help you survive, but help you thrive. Jesus didn't come just to help us survive. He came to help us live in the fullness of life that he came to give to us, right? Finished your 2 hardest classes with top marks. Good for you, Janine. Good for you, girl. Found your voice, Melissa. Go on, you good thing. What else? What have you pulled off? What have you? Sometimes, speaking of school, a good friend in Massachusetts area, and he said, you know what? I just kind of think like success is just sometimes it's making it through and still be standing. There's a verse, and I think at Philippians or Ephesians, it says, having done all to stand. It's like when the smoke clears from the war and the bombs exploding, the shrapnel flying all over the place. When the smoke clears, like to see you standing and kind of walking through that's accomplishment. So my question for you for number 3 is, what have you accomplished in these first 4 months or so? Good morning, Pete. Good to see you on the old Facebooks instead of the Insta. Welcome to the light. I'm only kidding. All right, but great to see you here. All right, so Rebecca, good morning. Yes, just standing after the smoke is cleared is an accomplishment. So sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for some of the accomplishments in our lives because it doesn't look to us like it's anything big or anything like mammoth. If you're having difficulty with this one, I would ask the people who love you in your life to say, hey, is there anything that you think that I've done well at or been able to pull off, or I ask them. Sometimes other people can see, your story, your life clearer. Oftentimes somebody else can see the impact that you may be making in your life better than what you can see the impact in your life, or what you think the impact in your life might be. All right. Are you ready for number 4? And let me give you a verse for number 3. All right. Celebration. 1 Timothy 6:17, I think, says, challenge people who are in this world that they don't put their trust in their stuff. Okay. And when crazy stuff like this happens, it helps us all kind of get focused on what's really important, right? Which are the people in our lives, right? Our health, right, is really, really important. And so things become more focused, right? Until the people that you love most in your life drive you absolutely nuts, and you're starting to doubt whether they're the priority or not. I'm kidding, right? But uh, challenge people in this world that they don't put their trust in their stuff, but that they put their trust in me, right? Maker, who's given them all things to enjoy. Your maker wants you to enjoy life. I almost choked, not really, fell off my chair when I found that verse, like the first time, that there's a God in heaven, a maker, creator, king of the universe, who actually wants you to enjoy life. He's not looking for ways he can crush you when you step out of line. That's not his heart. That is not who he is. And in this season, there's been a lot of challenges to what's going on. God, where are you? He's here. He's still on his throne, but he's stepped back. He's giving us freedom, space, time to choose to trust him or trust ourselves and continue to do a solo mission, or turn to the one whose rock is higher than mine, who can bring me through this on the other side better instead of bitter, better instead of broken, beautiful instead of bedraggled. That's who your Father is, your Heavenly Father. So let me encourage you with that thought, and yes, Janine, enjoy the simple things in life. We are giving away a prize at lunchtime today. For those of you who are writing in a nugget, or what your nugget is, your takeaway from this time today. Okay, so let me give you number 4. All right. Number 4 is, what do you feel that you should have been acknowledged for but haven't? What do you feel? Let me show you what this looks like. Right. What do you feel that you should have been acknowledged for but haven't? Moving and making the rest of this year the best of this year is about continuing the things that are working. So we want to ask, what's working, right? What's been working? And even though I may not have been acknowledged for this, what is working? It's easy to focus on what's not working, but that's not going to be helpful to any of us, right? We got to deal with that, acknowledge that, face that. But really, we want to get clear on what's effective. I keep telling one of my kids, I'm really wanting to encourage you. Rationalizing your behavior, justifying, explaining, it's not helpful. It would behoove you to be intentional about listening way more than you are right now. What do you feel like you should be acknowledged for but aren't? What we give attention to grows and expands. Where your mind goes, your energy flows, right? So we're asking the question, what do you feel like you should have been acknowledged for but haven't? What do you feel like you should have been acknowledged for but haven't? That's the question that I have for you. Again, share what you want to share, but we're kind of trying to get to, like, what I've been more patient lately. I've been listening more than I've been speaking lately. I've been intentional about that because my Irish brother challenged me to be quick to listen, to be fast to listen, because Jimmy challenged all of us to do that, right? It's a great question, right? What if it doesn't seem that there's much that's actually going right, and it's really not about me acknowledging anything? That's a great question, Becca. Great question. Here's what I would suggest. I would suggest that that actually there are some things that are working. There are some things that you should be acknowledged for, if nothing else, your perseverance. You may be stuck, but have you given up? And actually, we'll do another talk on how do you get unstuck. But part of it is processing what's going on, right? And so our first question is, if this first 4.5 months were a movie, what type of movie would it be? What's the genre? Number two, what are the major themes that keep popping up? And in the stuck places of our stories, what themes might be continuing to reoccur? I wonder for you. Number three, is there anything that you've accomplished that you're proud of? And some of us, like, we don't ever think about that. Like, we don't ever think about ourselves or our lives this way, which is why I've been sent from the land of the leprechauns to challenge you to change your filter. Change your filter. What are you talking about? When I landed on your land, we don't have air conditioners in the houses in Ireland for the most part, because we don't really need them. There's a fresh wind that blows through the island every day, right? Sometimes it's mighty fresh, let me tell you. But anyway, Checkin too. When I landed on your land, and we were in this house, and the air conditioning stopped working, I called the HVAC fellow and I said, "Hey, air conditioning's not working." He said, "Have you changed your filter?" I said, "Have I changed my what?" He said, "Have you changed your filter?" And I'm like, I don't even know how to filter. The only filter I know about is a filter fish, and I don't have a fish tank. So he's like, "Say no more, I'm on my way." So he comes over. I thought I was doing well, knowing where the units were, show him where the units were. He says, "See these two handles?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Do you not think about pulling them?" I'm like, "No, why would I do that? I might break something. You know, I work with people, not with things, right?" So, yeah, P, good for you, right? So look, he takes them off. He says, "See in there?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "That's your filter." I'm like, "Oh." And he pulls the filter out and he shows me the filter. And what color do you think the filters were, gang? What color do you think the filters were? With Daly not even knowing he had one. Black. It's close to black as you could get. Black they were. He said, "I just so happened to have a new filter in the van." He goes out, puts those new filters. He says, "See the arrow? You know, you got to point it a certain way, and you know, you get the best airflow and filtration system, whatever." Pop it in. Minutes later, gang. Minutes later, the filters were clean and cleared and working. A lot of times in our lives, we don't even know we have a filter. We don't even know that we've got a belief set, a system through which everything we experience comes through. And it's important that you know today, if you haven't been aware of it or made aware of it in the past, you and I have a filter. And if we're not checking it, like, what is my perspective? What am I believing? Like one of you said a little earlier, up higher in the notes, like, look, I feel stuck. And what if it looks like to me, through my filter, nothing's working? I promise you, I'm going to read you something before the end of this. I'm so appreciative of your authenticity, because it's not the one that's holding the trophy at the end of the day that is what it's all about. It's every single one of us running our own race with intentionality. And so don't let me forget to read something about being in the arena. I am going to read it for you in just a second. I just need to look you up right here. And in fact, you know what? I'm not waiting till the end. No, we're going to do it right now. Okay. Let's see if this will work. And I'm going to show it to you because I want you to take a picture of it, because I think all of us need a good old reminder of this. Oh, well, look at that. Whoa, hold on. Come back down a little. Okay. All right. So let me share this with you. Can I? Oh, okay. Hold on. What if... I don't think I can share it. Well, what if I say plus? Hey, we got two things in the same time. We got my notes up there. Would you look at that, gang? We have notes and we have my ugly mug. Okay. Uh, I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. And I want to share the man in the arena. Yeah. Um, I know this is taking me longer, and I'm really challenging your patience right now. Huh? Show. Okay, I don't know if. I don't know if you can see it or not. Okay, I'm gonna have to read it to you. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to read it to you. I have no idea what we're looking like. It's all at all. Now you're just showing off. I'm not. Is it in there? Can you see it? Uh, okay, look. Let me read it to you, because it looks to me like, man, I have two or three things on the screen in front of us, and now I've just taken it off the screen. Okay, look, it's the man in the arena. It's by one of your former presidents, Theodore Roosevelt. This is what it says. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, or the woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself or herself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he or she fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that this place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. I hope that's helpful. I hope that's been helpful. You today. Let me close this and go back to normal, whatever normal is. We read that, the man in the arena, because someone shared, hey, I feel stuck. I get that. I hear you. All right. Part of being here is let us help you be pulled out. Let us help you say, hey, it's okay to be stuck. You're not done. You haven't failed. You can't fail. You can only learn and grow and become better than you've ever been before. And if you know Jesus at all, I don't know if you do or not, then he has already told you you are a victor, not a victim. But you see, if my filter says I'm a victim, if my filter says I'm failed, if my filter says, and I've, because I've said it, because of the stuff that's happening, because of how I've been treated, or whatever the case might be, it gets stuck in our filters, gang. And we need to clear out our filters. And that's part of processing. It's part of processing. Any nuggets in there for you? If there is, write them down. Share them with somebody else. Sometimes people will kind of scan through and they'll see a note and they'll say, okay, look, you know what? Nobody wrote anything. There were no comments. So, there mustn't be anything good in there. Let them scroll past this and let them see there's a nugget or two in there for them. So I just want to say to you who said, I'm stuck, I'm so proud of you. Because all of us get stuck. And all of us have seasons where it seems like no matter which way I turn, I'm not winning. You are winning if you are putting one foot in front of the other and just refusing to give up. Now, I will say to you that sometimes we need to give up on our own resources because depending on ourselves isn't going to get us ultimately to where we want to go. But that's a talk for another day. All right. So we went there through accomplishment. Have you accomplished anything that you're proud of? Right. Because we don't celebrate enough. And then we went to, okay, have you not been acknowledged for something? Right. Which was the last one. Have you not been acknowledged for something that you think you should have been acknowledged for? And then we're going to go to numero 5. Numero 5. I'm just thrilled that I stumbled on this, Melissa. I stumbled on this. You can have your notes and your mug on the face. On the screen at the same time. All right, number 5. And this is so important, gang, okay? This is so important. And look, if there are follow-up questions, I have 2 S's. And disappointment. Disappointment, okay? What disappointments or regrets have you experienced in this in this season? What disappointments or regrets have you experienced in this season? Is my question for you. And Kevin, why are you taking me there? I'm taking you there because it's important that, again, we acknowledge the disappointments or regrets in our lives so that we can have emotional closure and mental closure to those disappointments or those regrets. And again, just by naming them, just by saying, I regret that I didn't do this, and just getting it out. Like what's stuffed and repressed inside doesn't do anything but eventually leak or spew if you keep stuffing, because you can't stuff forever. Right? So what disappointments or regrets have you experienced, in this first, half of this year, to help you with emotional and mental closure to the disappointments that have just been experienced to some degree? And it may be with you, it may be with other people, it may be in life in general, it may be, look, I was supposed to be further along, I'm behind my goals, or whatever. We're just helping you acknowledge it, we're helping you face it, and we're helping you move forward. All right? Any disappointments or regrets? All right? We don't like to spend too much time on this, but again, I'm saying it's really, really important that we at least ask ourselves the question. At least ask ourselves the question. And let me say this, even in the regret, right, or in the disappointment, it's not over, right? So sometimes the clarity that comes from this question is like, what I'm facing, like, it's not too late. It's never too late. It's never too late. And it's not over yet. Like, there's a shift, right? And people are starting to breathe again, if you like, and literally breathe again. My goodness, right? But also kind of like get back to normal. We're not going back to normal, right? In time we'll forget that this happened if it's not like right in front of our faces. Yes. So nugget or right. Somebody wrote chunk of gold. That's good. That'll count. We'll count that as a nugget. We're going to give a prize away at lunchtime today for someone who's written in the nugget or just said the word nugget or chunk of gold. We'll include in there because I want to affirm you for engaging and for getting the most out of this. Right? People who pay. Here it is. People who pay attention. Okay? People who invest their time, their resources, their energy, pay attention and profit from that experience. We live in an age of distraction, and so that's why I'm asking you to comment. In addition to Facebook will know, maybe there's some value in this. I might share this with other people, right? not that Facebook's a person, but you know, the algorithms look for who engagement so that they can say, yeah, we're going to share this with more people. All right. So yeah, and you know, look, yeah, disappointments, regrets, right? We're still processing, right? People who we've lost, some right in this season, yeah, and so just again, awareness is the first step, right? And when you're ready, let me tell you, we have phenomenal grief counselors and coaches here who will walk with you if to help you get unstuck, to help you get further faster, if that would be of help to you. Share the man in the arena, Pete, for sure, man. Do it. I'm looking at notes here just to make sure I don't lose you before we move on. Yes, we're starting a grief group in September, maybe even a little before. I don't know, but in at BCI. Okay, good. All right. So people trying to sell houses, right? I hear you, Janine, and just not Janine. Can I tell you a story, girl? We tried to sell our house, and we had 1 week. Debbie was in finishing nursing school, and 1 week it was a little. I know, yeah, eager, right? But well, anyway, in that 1 week that we had, ask me what happened. Go ahead, ask me what happened in that 1 week. We had a sewage pipe burst, and we had sewage all over our bottom floor. Janine, I hate that it's taken so long for you, girl, but at least there's not sewage all over your floor that you have to get repaired. I would pray, let's get behind Janine, and let's ask God for a house story for her. There is a reason, sister, why your house hasn't sold. And I mean, by the one who is in control of it all. So we'll lift you up, girl, all right? And all I'm asking is that you let us know when God shifts that thing for you. Thank you, Jacob, for that visual, you blackguard. So look, I know I gave you that meatball, didn't I? Okay. Yeah, Melissa, great idea. Let's give some copies of The Man in the Arena away for sure as prizes. That would be a fantastic idea. All right, gang. Hey, look, Janine, I mean it. I'm not just saying it. We're going to get behind you. That's part of the reason why we do things like this and why we have a Live Love Lead Academy, so we can be in this together, so we can support each other and have each other's backs. All right. So, and Janine, look, I'm sitting in a new house right now. I'm sitting in a new house right now. More beautiful than I dreamt of. God's fingerprints all over the place. He doesn't love me any more than he loves you, sis. And so we're gonna lift you up in that. All right. Thank you, Pete. Yes, man. This is about helping tell our minds where to go. You own the organ of your noggin, and it's important that we take back the reins and that we tell it what we want it to focus on, because what we focus on affects how we feel, which ultimately affects how we function. All right, you've been amazing. Let me give you 2 more, and let me get on with your phenomenal Friday. All right, number 6. What was missing? Okay, what was missing from this last year, from this last 6 months as you look back? What was missing? Not what was wrong, but what was missing. You can't replace it if you don't know it's missing. What was missing from this past first half of the year? What was missing? Yeah, share it. If you're comfortable to share it, share it. Because I'm promising you, what was probably missing for you may have been missing for somebody else. And they think about that and like, yes, yes, that wasn't there for me. I remember fun was missing for me for a time. Deb is in an ICU unit in the hospital. and I can't really share much more, but you can imagine what it's like in the ICU. And I counsel people in dire straits sometimes, the heavy cases, and sometimes it can get really serious, because it is. And so we had to be intentional. Fun was missing. And so we needed to be intentional about putting fun back in. And when we did, and when we were, man, it's amazing. It's amazing. We have a Father who wants us to enjoy what's going on in our lives, even in the midst of trauma, even in the midst of trouble, even in the midst of testing or trial. With respect and not being tone deaf, etc. Focus was missing. Unity was missing. Stability was missing. Connection was missing. Love these answers. They're so relatable to so many of us. What was missing for you? Again, you can't replace it if you don't know what's missing. So loving this. All right, number 7. Let's wrap this up, right? Number 7. Number 7 is, what are some lessons? What are some major lessons that you've learned in these first 5 months of this year? What are some lessons? What are some lessons that you might have learned in these past 5 months? We're talking about how to process today. We're talking about how do you not have what's going on now, what's gone on from sticking to you and force you to drag it into every day, every relationship, every circumstance, every setting. Well, how can you make sure it doesn't stick to the filter of your mind? You have the filter that everything in your life comes through by processing. When you process what's going on, you can decide what you want to hold on to and you can decide what you want to release. When you don't process, you remain unaware, less aware in your life of how life is affecting you, how circumstances are affecting you, or people are affecting you. And you stumble from one day to the next. So tell us, what are some lessons that you've learned? One for me is planning. Planning. Just a reminder, the need to plan, to prepare over and over and over and over again. But not because some of us can be brilliant planners. We're perfectionists, right? Clearly, I'm not one of them. Perfectionist, I mean. And I'm getting better at the planning department, right? But that's been huge for me. What's been big for you? What's been big for you? Joy. Love it. Lessons. Joy. Love it. Letting go. Yeah. Control what you can control and surrender what you can't control. Yes. Stillness. Meditating. Choosing what to focus on. Telling your mind where to go. Has helped with stillness. Just a reminder, we need a daily intentionality of focusing on the Father and looking for his fingerprints in everything we're surrounded by. Yeah. What are some major life lessons? If we're not distilling what we're learning, we're destined to repeat it again and again, gang. Right? If we know anything from history, we know that history repeats itself, right? If we're not distilling what we're learning, we're destined to repeat it again and again and again. The most important thing is not the end result, gang. But being in the process, being unencumbered by the past, because we're letting it inform us. But it's not going to inform us unless we ask these questions. So let's take a little bit of time to process it. God has a good plan no matter where we are, no matter what's going on. Discern when to speak. Love it. Plan. Whatever you do, plan. And surrender that plan to the Father. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to write this down. I want you to type it out, but I want you to write this down. I want you to pull from this what would be helpful for you, what you want to take away from this. I want you to take this tool. I want you to use it again. Like when it gets foggy, maybe you use this tool to help process to clear the fog. Clear the fog. Sure, clear the fog. Clear the fog. And the fog. Thoughts disentangle themselves, passing from the mind to the lips through the fingertips. Your thoughts disentangle themselves, gang, when they pass from your mind to your lips and through your fingertips. I want you to have a disentangled mind, a detangled mind, which will result in clarity for you. And it's the year 2020. If there was ever a year for you to gain more clarity, it's this year. And if me or my team can help you with that, that's why we're here. And when you have more clarity, you can have more confidence. And when you build confidence and clarity, you will also experience more courage. If you do this exercise, you will be ahead of 97% of the population who process. 97% do not process. You will be the 3% who process what's going on in their stories. And let me tell you, my only regret is that I didn't start to process earlier. My only regret is that I didn't start to process earlier. So what are we talking about? Today we're talking about how to process our lives, how to process what's going on right now, how to come through it better instead of bitter or bedraggled, right? More beautiful instead of, well, I already said beat up, I guess, right? And so the first thought we talked about was, look, if your life is a movie, what genre would it be? Number two, what are 2 or 3 major themes that keep popping up? You want to name them, grab them, pull them out of the ethereal atmosphere and bring them down and take a look at them and make a decision. Make a decision. Third, we talked about is, okay, how do I acknowledge what have I accomplished? Am I still at it? Am I still in the arena? It's not over yet. Some of us feel stuck. You're not going to stay stuck. You're not going to stay stuck. You do this exercise and this is part of getting unstuck. And there's more coming for you, brother or sister. What haven't you been acknowledged for that you should have been acknowledged for? I'm not trying to stir up no trouble. My Irish brother said, you need to be acknowledging me more. Maybe that's true, but I'm suggesting that probably ain't the way to go about that conversation. I just want you to acknowledge what has happened, where you are, what have you survived, what are you still standing in, even if the fog hasn't totally cleared. Now I can't get fog out of my head. We talked about what disappointments or regrets have you experienced in the first half of this year. We're trying to process so that we can have perspective, correct, healthy perspective in the truth so that we can move forward unencumbered by the past. What's missing? You can't replace what's not missing. What you don't know is missing. So we want to ask the question, what was missing in the first half of this year? So that I can get intentional about making the rest of the year the best of the year. And don't hold on to the thought, this year's been a wash. No, it hasn't. It's too late. No, it's not. What lessons have you learned? What lessons are surfacing? What nuggets are you getting? Even in this morning, write them down. At lunchtime today, we're going to go back through lunchtime, US time, Eastern time, because there's all different times, right? So that's like this evening for you Europeans, right? On the island and the big one next to it, if you know what I mean. It is our privilege to be a support to you and to come alongside you. Please, if this has resonated with you, share it. Ooh, I said it. Sprinkle the love. Will you do that? Click the LIKE thumbs up. Share some hearts or whatever they do in your social media that you're watching this in. And we are rolling out 2 things. Okay, actually, first thing is this. First thing, it's Friday. It's the last day. And because you are here 54 minutes in, I'm going to share this with you. If you have never experienced the phenomenal experience it is to have a coach or a counselor as part of my team in BCI be a support to you, if you've never experienced this before, Our Mother's Day giveaway is still happening, ends today. No catches, no strings. Call us, email us. You see the number in the bottom of the screen. If you don't, it's 800 910 5060, or it is 678 608 2111. And we're giving you a free, no strings attached, no catches, no upsells, downsells, sideways set. We just want to bless you for Mother's Day. You are oftentimes the unsung heroes. And I'm not saying anything against anybody else. Mums are the mums in your life that you think would have a shot in the arm in an encouragement sense of a way. Tell them. And tell them today's the last day to schedule their session, coaching or counseling for free from Broken Chains International, where we can help you live free or love well. That's not a bad bonus at the end, eh? Share it with the mothers in your life and tell them, just tell them to mention the Mother's Day giveaway, and tell them to mention your name, because you'll be like a rock star to them. Okay? And yes, Pete, do it. Really want to encourage you. No matter where you are on the planet, you don't have to be on this land mass, all right? It's called Broken Chains International, because we help people live free and love well all over the planet. All right, I think we're gonna wrap up right there. And I'm going to say, have a fantastic Friday. Make it a fantastic Friday. And the same thing that I used to tell my kids before they get out of the car and go to school, I'd say to them, listen to me. You listening to me? Yeah, Dad. Don't mind the ding-dongs. Make it a great day. And make sure you laugh a lot. Hey, may you feel his favor on you this day. May you know his peace. And may you not just listen to this, but may you be doers of and appliers of what you're hearing. Take one of these, write it down, put it into practice, and have a fantastic weekend. I would look forward to seeing you Monday morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, at least on this land mass, at lunchtime across the pond. Check in with Kevin at 7. And we're going to also be making opportunities for you to jump into our academy, to where we can be even of greater support to you, and you can be supported way more than we've been able to support you even through the season with these morning coaching sessions. Have a phenomenal day. I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, Pete. Sprinkle the love, gang, amongst your friends and family, your community, and share that bonus that I just talked about a few minutes ago with those who you think might benefit from it. And do us a favor, jump into the group Live, Love, Lead with Kevin Daly. If you just search for it, Live, Love, Lead with Kevin Daly, D-A-L-Y, jump into that. And there's a whole lot more goodies that we're giving out in there as well. And I think that is all. Yeah. Bless you. Have a great weekend. And we will look forward to seeing you Monday morning. And for those of you who are coming in at the end, we talked about how to process so you can have the right perspective, so that you can move forward with purpose and with power. That's not a bad few P's. And until next time, we will see you then. All right? Cheerio. Bye.